What if you could functionally get your entire everyday carry to fit into one pocket? Well, that's a task I've challenged myself with over the last few weeks, and after a little bit of experimenting, I think I've finally found a solution to it that I could genuinely get on board with carrying myself daily. So first off, I just want to say, this isn't necessarily me trying to find a way of being more minimal and carrying less. It's more about making the carry more functional and having it so it's all in one place. You know exactly where everything is, and you're bulking your pockets out a lot less than you would be by just having everything scattered around. For me, I'm one of the guys, I carry a lot. I'll carry a knife, I'll carry a pen, sometimes I'll carry a torch, and then I've got my wallet, I've got my keys, I've got all that shit. So I thought if I can get everything into one place, I'd have to be like, right, where have I put my pen today? Which pocket's that in? Because I'm a bit useless. I'll take something out of my pocket, I'll use it, and then I'll put it back in a different pocket because I'm not thinking, or I'm at a funny angle if I'm working on something. So I always end up losing shit. That is one of the reasons I thought about doing this, because I'm like, right, everything is in one place. I can take it out and put it straight back in the exact same place and then back into my pocket. So when I first thought about doing this, my first initial thought was, right, 90% of the stuff that I'm going to carry needs to go in like a pouch or a wallet. And then my first thought from there was the Arco Boulder wallet, of course. It's a product I'm really, really fond of. I've made a few videos about it. I'll link one up here if you're not familiar with it. It's an incredible bit of kit. You can use it as a wallet, so you can fit a few cards in there, you can fit a bit of cash in there, and you can also fit a couple of tools or pens or whatever you want to carry in there. So I tried that, and I realised it wasn't quite cutting it. Like, it actually wasn't, and I never say that about that, but I wanted to be able to get a pen and a multi-tool and maybe one other thing into there. And it didn't work. So I tried a few things, and what I've finally come down to now is the Silver Fox Tools Mule Wallet. I briefly mentioned this in a video a couple of weeks ago. I think it was an EDC gear haul. Basically, what this is a wallet made out of leather. I think it's full grain veg tan leather, really high quality, really, really nice and durable and sturdy, but also fairly supple. So it is going to mold to the shape of your tools or whatever you've got in here quite quickly. These go for around the £55 mark, handmade in the UK by the guys over at Silver Fox Tools. So this is going to be linked down below along with everything else that I talk about in this video. If you fancy checking any of that out, it's down there for you. So the reason that I ended up coming to this wallet is because, like I said, it's modular. So what they've done over at Silver Fox Tools is with this wallet, and they've got a pouch as well, they've got a couple of other bits, but they've made it modular in a way that they've got this riveting system. When you get this wallet through in the post, it comes with these little rivets and a little Allen key. And what this means is inside the wallet, as you can see, there's these little holes on the one side of it. You can put these rivets in any particular order you fancy to fit around whatever it is that you want to fit in this wallet. So I could put more to the left side if I wanted to carry a pen on one side and something bigger on the right side. The way I've done it is I've got 3 down the middle because that's just how it perfectly fit what I wanted to carry in here. So for me, it was a no-brainer to go for this because it meant that I could fit pretty much any of the smaller tools that I have in here in a way that's going to comfortably fit, and it's still going to be able to fold up nice and easy. It is a little bit bigger than the general size of wallets that I like to carry. If you're a regular viewer of the channel and you've been here a while, you know that I don't really like my wallet to be much bigger than the actual size of a credit card. So for me, something like this, which is actually fairly bulky, especially when I've got this stuff in it, like, don't get me wrong, it's going to be fairly chunky. Not as chunky as your old granddad's bifold wallet that's got 6 million receipts in that he sits on every day and it looks like he's got a hernia hanging out of his ass. But it is more bulky than just having your standard minimalist wallet. But that's fine. You expect that when you're carrying more than just money stuff in a wallet. So the size isn't really an issue. It takes some getting used to for me personally, having something that's a bit more bulky in my front pocket. But after a few days of carrying it, I genuinely I don't even realise it's there anymore. I've got used to it and it doesn't feel like it's really taking up much room in my pocket. Plus, like I said, where this is only in one pocket, the rest of my pockets are free. So for me, this was a bit of a no-brainer and the perfect solution for this carry, as not only can I fit my tools in here, but it also, like I said, is a wallet, so I can fit my cards in here. On the left side of this, as you can see, you've got a couple of slots for some cards. It's stated to carry 4 cards. I've got 4 in here at the moment because that's all I carry anyway. But after a bit of time and after the leather's softened up a little bit and stretched a little bit, I'm sure you could probably squeeze another 1 or 2 in here if you needed to. Don't really know why anyone really would need to carry more than 4 cards, considering we've got like Apple Pay and Android Pay and stuff on our phones as well for those other cards that we don't need to carry. So this perfectly fits anything that I need to carry in terms of cards on the inside. In the middle, this is where I thought I would keep a pen. It was the perfect size to keep a pen. I don't think that's what it was actually designed for. I feel like that's just how it is. There's sometimes in wallets you see that little center slot where it's like folded. I think maybe it's just for like strengthening or whatever, but I could perfectly fit in here the Big Idea Design mini bolt action pen. Again, this is a pen I've talked about a lot over the years. It's such a good little tiny EDC pen. I don't need to say much more. Made out of titanium. The bolt action's great. It writes great. It's very small. So if you've got big hands, it's not the easiest to write with sometimes, but you do get used to it. If you're interested in this or anything else from Big Idea Design, I have an affiliate code for them. So that is on the screen here to get you 10% off your order. And I've got a link down below so you can go and check them out and any of their other tools. Then next to that, get into the tools I decided to keep in here. So I wanted to be able to keep in here a multi-tool. My multi-tool of choice generally is the SOG PowerPoint, just because it is fantastic. The pliers on there are fantastic. It's not too small, but also it's small enough that you can pocket it and not worry about it, and it is easily carryable anytime. But that wasn't going to fit in here. Plus, it is not legal to carry in the UK because it's got a tiny little blade on it that locks. Not that that should be anything that we're concerned about in the UK at the moment, but I digress. So, what I needed to do was then find a multi-tool and some pliers, because I use pliers a lot, hence needing to carry some pliers. This will be down to like user preference. You carry what tools you need to. This is just what I thought of carrying in here and what I have been carrying in here. So the pliers that I decided to go for were the Knipex Cobra XS pliers. These things are fantastic. They're only about 15 or 20 quid. Get them on Amazon, or you can buy them pretty much anywhere. There's like a hardware shop or whatever. They're so small. They grip great. They work great. I have nothing bad to say about them. They're nice and strong. They're actually like plumber's grips, so they are really, really great. You can pocket these if you need to, but they do fit in here very well. They almost, well, I think actually they do stick out of the top by like 0.5 millimeter. So it's barely sticking out. And when the wallet's closed, you can't really tell anyway. But for me, I've carried these a lot. These go kind of everywhere with me. I've always got them in a pouch or in a bag or something, just because they are so handy to keep nearby. So putting them in here and using them as my daily pliers over the SOG PowerPoint now for this carry worked perfectly. And then, like I said, I needed a multi-tool. So I went for a Swiss Army knife. I'm in the UK. It's perfectly legal to carry. I just went for the Pioneer because that was the first one I found in my collection that fit in here. So on it, it doesn't actually have that many tools. You've got your standard knife, like you would always have on a Swiss Army knife. You have your bottle opener with a prying tool / flathead screwdriver on it. You have your tin opener with a small sort of like Phillips style screwdriver on the end of it. And then I believe this is a sewing needle, but like, who the fuck would sew with that? I'd see that more as like I'm going to put a new hole in my belt because I've lost weight, or an extra hole in my belt because I've put on too much weight and now my belt's too small. That's what I'd see that as. But that is all that's on there. I know there's plenty of other Swiss Army knives that are better than this, but this was just nice and slimline, and it's the perfect size to fit in here alongside the Knipex pliers. So that's what I put in here. And that pretty much covers the entire carry. What I have in here is money, a pen, pliers or something to grip things, and then a multi-tool that I do have another knife in my pocket. We'll get onto that. But if I didn't want to carry a knife in my pocket as well, I have a knife on here, I have a screwdriver on here, I have a bottle opener on here. Like, everything that is now currently in this little wallet is basically everything that I would need to get me through general day-to-day life. Obviously, I have my backpack that's got other stuff and my van that has other stuff that helps me get through bigger tasks. But for general daily carry, daily tasks, this is ideal. Not even just for men. Get this for your wife. Stick it in her handbag. She probably won't know how to use any of it, but at least it's there for her if she needs it. So that is my solution to putting everything that I carry into one pocket. We'll talk about the knife. The knife that I am actually carrying right now, it's changed since the last video because it just got delivered. I can't actually remember what it's called. I need to have a look. Right, I found out now. So the knife that I have been carrying in my pocket now for the last week is the Takray Tyran, or Tyran, whatever it's called. Bro, this thing is sick. Takray were kind enough to send this out to me and wanted me to talk about it on YouTube. To start with, I'd never heard of them, so I was a bit skeptical. Came through the post, instantly in the pocket. This thing is so sick. I'll do a proper video talking about this soon, but it's a thumb stud opener, fucking crazy blade shape on it, button lock, titanium, incredibly thin, incredibly lightweight, feels fantastic in the hand, so sharp. And I don't have a bad word to say about this knife. I'm so happy I agreed for them to send this to me. And this is my current favourite knife. I'll say that. So stick around to find out a little bit more about this knife very, very soon. But that sits in the pocket with it. Yes, you could say, oh yeah, but you're not only having it in just one thing. It's like, yeah, well, I said one pocket, not just one pouch. And like I said, if I didn't carry this knife in my pocket, then I've got the Swiss Army knife, which has a knife on it anyway. Obviously, I can't go out in public with this in the UK. Like, I'm spending a lot of time at home working on stuff and around the house and doing shit like that. So it stays in the pocket while I'm at home. If I'm going out, I will swap it for a UK legal knife. Don't at me. But I also have the knife in here as well. If you want to talk about a torch or a flashlight, I've always got one on my keys. My keys don't go in my pocket because I'm not a psycho. They're always on my belt. So I don't really count that as a part of this carry. But I always just have the Olight iMini 2 on my keys. Little 50 lumen magnetic torch. It's insane. It's perfect for me and it's only 20 quid. And that covers it. Let me know what you think. Obviously, this is just my 2 cents and my take on what I decided to carry in this carry and what is working for me. But I would highly recommend any product I've talked about today, especially the Silver Fox Tools Mule Wallet. For this carry, it's absolutely ideal. I couldn't fault it at all. So let me know down in the comments below what you would carry in this instance. Would you have gone for this wallet or would you have chosen something else, something that I've never heard of? Like this video if you did like it, subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in the next video. See you later.